Jianxin is like a one-man army. She is the jack of all trades and stands between a support and a damage dealer role. She provides crowd control, shields, healing, liberation damage deepen, which makes her a very flexible support. She has decent damage multipliers, which makes her usable as a hybrid DPS, while also covering the supportive role. You can use her as a main DPS as well, although she is not the best in this role. But you can do that if you want to give more field time to this beautiful character, or if you happen to get many dupes of her. However, there's a downside. Jianxin requires a lot of field time for using her Forte circuit. It requires 6 seconds to achieve the maximum shielding effect and cannot be swap cancelled. This requires Jianxin to stay stationary as well. In early or mid-game content, she can easily take no damage thanks to the damage taken reduction in shields. However, in the endgame where the bosses hit really hard, especially in the Tower of Adversity, this becomes a huge problem. But there's a trick to get 100% damage reduction and literally take 0 damage. Yes, 0 damage. I will tell you how to make this possible. But let's go step by step. Starting with her kit. Jianxin's basic attacks is a 4-hit combo that can pull enemies, but we won't be using it much for support or hybrid DPS build. Moving on to the resonant skill. If you hold the skill, Jianxin will enter parry stance. And if Jianxin is attacked during parry stance, she takes no damage and automatically does a counterattack. It is triggered instantly, which is amazing, kind of like Beidou's skill if you have played Genshin Impact. If you release the skill button without countering any attack, she will release a punch called Chi Parry that deals a bit less damage than the counter. You can also just tap the skill and she will do the same Chi Parry attack. In both the ways, you can get the same amount of 40 circuit stacks, also called as Chi. The hold version of this skill has a really interesting tech. If you hold the resonance skill and swap her out, Jianxin will continue to stay on the field in the parry mode. If she gets hit, she will do the counterattack. This can be utilized in the Quickswap playstyle. Jianxin's ultimate is one of my favorite skills in the game. What it does is, it pulls the enemies and has a massive range while also dealing some nice damage. This is amazing for characters that have low AoE like Calchero and allows them to deal very high damage. However, it can't pull boss or elite enemies. It has an energy cost of 150, restores 20 Concerto energy, and has a cooldown of 20 seconds. Now let's move on to her Forte circuit, which has a whole paragraph of text. Jianxin can fill her Forte circuit by hitting an enemy with her normal attacks, by casting her resonance skill, by hitting an enemy with a Chi Parry or Chi counter, and when intro skill hits an enemy. When the Forte circuit is filled, you can see 2 markings on the Forte circuit bar. Let's call the first marking as stage 1 and the second marking as stage 2. To use the Forte circuit bar, you need to hold the normal attack button. By doing this, you will see an arrow aura surrounding Jianxin that deals small continuous damage to enemies, and she will start doing some hand movements. During this state, Jianxin gets increased resistance to interruption and 50% damage taken reduction. If you notice the Forte circuit bar, it will keep decreasing as you hold down the normal attack button. You will get different effects depending on when you leave the normal attack button. No matter when you release the normal attack button, she will lose all the Forte circuit stacks. If you release it before Jianxin reaches the stage 1, she will get a small shield and unleash a punch dealing some damage. When she reaches stage 1, Jianxin will release a shock damage, and if you release the button at this point, she will get a slightly stronger shield and do an attack that deals higher damage. This attack is called Yielding Pull. When Jianxin reaches the second stage, she will release a stronger shock damage, receive a stronger shield, and do the Yielding Pull attack. And when all the stacks are consumed, Jianxin will release the strongest shock damage and give the strongest shield. The shield is not limited to only Jianxin, but for every character. Additionally, the shield restores HP once every second for a total of 6 seconds. The healing multiplier are also quite high. The damage from her Forte circuit is considered as heavy attack damage. Jianxin's intro skill deals some damage and has a pulling effect. Her outrow skill gives 38% resonance liberation damage deepen buff to the next character you switch into, which is great for characters that can deal a significant amount of liberation damage like Calchero, both Havoc and Spectro Rover, etc. However, the buff ends if you switch the character. Her first inherent passive buffs her liberation damage by 20%. The second inherent passive increases the shield obtained by 20%. Moving on to Jianxin's talent priority. For supportive or sub-DPS playstyle, level her 4-day circuit and liberation, followed by skill, then basic attacks, and lastly the intro can be skipped. For main DPS build, prioritize her 4-day circuit, followed by her liberation, followed by basic attacks, then the resonant skill, and lastly the intro skill that can be skipped. In a Quickswap playstyle, you can ignore the 4-day circuit as we won't be using it. Now that we know her kit, let's talk about how we can make Jianxin invincible. As we saw earlier, Jianxin gets 50% damage taken reduction while using her 4-day circuit, and if you pair this with the Bellborn Echo, it will give another 50% damage taken reduction. So in total she gets 100% damage taken reduction, and she takes 0 damage. Do keep in mind this only lasts for 3 hits. After 3 hits, she will start taking damage. Before moving on to her equipment, let's talk about her energy requirements. You need to make sure you can get Jianxin's burst back for every rotation. Depending on how you play her, Jianxin's energy requirements can vary. If Jianxin is used as a pure support or sub-DPS, where she is mostly off-field, you should aim for 160 to 180% energy regen. And for on-field DPS Jianxin, you can go lower around 130 to 150%. Moving on to her echo sets and skills. As I mentioned earlier, you can run the Bellborn Jianxin skill for 100% damage reduction. This skill comes in 2 sets, Rejuvenating Glow set and Moonlit Cloud set. The Rejuvenating Glow set is better if Jianxin is being used as a pure support for sustain in place of characters like Verena. If you are using Jianxin in the sub-DPS role, and have someone like Verena or Baiji in the team who are using the Bellborn Echo with the Rejuvenating Glow set, you should run the Moonlit Cloud set with a Heron Echo skill on Jianxin. This set and the Echo skill gives attack and damage buffs to the next character you switch into after filling the Concerto energy bar. This Echo skill can be swap cancelled. And lastly, for main DPS Jianxin, you can use offensive sets like the Sierra Gale that buffs the arrow damage. The best Echo skill will be this monkey, Thalian Baringal. It deals some nice damage and provides nice buffs, and the last hit of this Echo skill can be swap cancelled. Alternatively, you can use the Lingering Tunes set with the Mech Abomination, or use a mixture of the arrow set, Lingering Tunes, or Moonlit Clouds. For her Echo stats, you can go crit rate or crit damage for more damage, or even attack percent works on the 4-cost Echo for support build, for stronger shields and heals. For 3-cost Echo, you can go energy regen on both to meet her high energy requirements, or go attack percent on one of them if you have enough from Substats. For main DPS, you can mix arrow damage and energy regen, or even attack percent works, and attack percent on 1-cost Echoes. For Substats, energy regeneration until required, followed by crit stats, followed by attack percent, followed by flat attack, then heavy attack damage, followed by liberation damage, and basic attack damage can be decent too. Now let's move on to her weapons. Just a quick reminder, if you are enjoying this video so far, do consider liking this video and sharing it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. For pure support Jianxin, the 3-star weapon, Originite Type 4 Gauntlet is amazing because of its passive. It restores HP once every 3 seconds on hitting an enemy with a basic attack. Well, it might seem useless, but this passive gives us an easy access to Rejuvenating Glow set. Without this weapon, you will have to rely on Jianxin's healing from her 4-day circuit to activate this set, which is not so consistent. Using this gauntlet will let you have 100% uptime right from the start of the rotation, as the set can be activated just from one normal attack hit. Mercado is an amazing gauntlet for the high energy regen stat, and Concerto energy restoration from its passive, allowing her to have 100% ultimate uptime and smoother rotations. This weapon is great even for a sub-DPS build. However, if you want more damage output from her, you can choose from the following options. The 5-star standard weapon, Abyss Surges, is her best in slot for damage. It provides a ton of attack percent, strengthening her damage and shield, provides energy regen, and give basic attack damage bonus, which is great for main DPS Jianxin. We also have some other great options. The craftable F2P weapon, Gauntlets 21, is kind of like an all-rounder that gives attack percent and energy regen from its passive. It is a very strong option if you need the energy and also looking for some damage. The Hollow Mirage gives a lot of attack percent from its secondary stat and passive. Stonard, the BP weapon, gives crit rate, which is really useful and increases liberation damage. These weapons with higher ranks can get closer to the 5-star weapon option. And lastly, the R5 Gauntlets of Night is an easily accessible 3-star weapon option that gives a lot of attack. Moving on to her team comps. Jianxin can fit into many teams. If you are using her as pure support, she can fit into any team like Verena, as she can use the Rejuvenating Glow set, provide some shield and crowd control. Here are some team examples: Havoc Rover, Dungeon, Jianxin; Calchero, Yinlin, Jianxin. Jianxin can also be used in the second slot as a sub-DPS/buffer due to her outrow and other utilities. She works the best with characters that can utilize the Liberation damage deepen very well. Calchero and Havoc Rover are the best characters. Other characters like Dungeon, Jixia can also utilize this buff. Jianxin's shielding is very useful for survival, especially for someone like Dungeon who eats her own HP. Calchero, Jianxin, Verena. Rover, Jianxin, Baiji. These are some team examples. You can also use her in a Quickswap team with characters that can take benefit of swap cancels like Encore, Havoc Rover with Dreamless Echo skill, Calchero, Sanua, Yinlin, etc. And for main DPS Jianxin, you can run a typical team composition with a sub-DPS and a buffer like Verena or Baiji. For sub-DPS role, you can use the following characters. Yinlin has really high off-field damage and also gives Liberation damage deepen. Mortefi is amazing as he can give heavy attack damage deepen, which is great for Jianxin, as most of her damage comes from her 4-day circuit heavy attack. Mortefi also has some nice off-field damage. Sanua has good personal damage and gives basic attack damage deepen. Yang gives energy restoration and some crowd control. Now let's move on to her rotations. Let's start with the pure support Jianxin rotation. You can start by using her ultimate skill, then a quick skill tap, or counter if the enemy is about to hit. Do a basic attack to activate the Rejuvenating Glow set if you are using the Originite Type 4 Gauntlet, and switch to your other characters. Spend some time with them preparing their Concerto Bar or 4-day circuit. Then come back to Jianxin when her Resonance skill is ready. Quickly tap it and use some basic attacks to fill the 4-day circuit. Use her Bell Echo skill and start charging her 4-day circuit heavy attack. If I am up against common enemies, I usually avoid fully using the 4-day circuit as the last shockwave pushes everyone away. After this, fill her Concerto Bar to trigger her outrow skill and switch to other characters. Complete their rotation and repeat. For sub-DPS/buffer, you can follow a similar rotation. Start with Ultimate, tap Resonance skill, switch out to other characters. Switch back to Jianxin when her skill is back up. Tap her skill, do some basic attacks to fill her 4-day. Charge her attack till her outrow skill is ready. Use the Heron skill and swap cancel into your main DPS. For main DPS, after giving all the buffs to Jianxin and swap canceling her Monkey Echo skill, you start with her ultimate skill and resonance skill, then spam her basic attacks. When the 4-day circuit is filled, fully cast the heavy attack. And lastly, for Quickswap DPS, swap to Jianxin every time the resonance skill is ready. You can tap the skill, or as I mentioned in the kit section, you can hold the skill and switch out. Jianxin will continue to stay in the parry stance and counter any attack that hits her. If you can manage to get an intro skill, it would be great as it will pull the enemies. Use the ultimate skill whenever ready. Swap cancel her echo skill. In such teams, her heavy attack is not used much as it cannot be swap cancelled and is time consuming. There's a video on a Quickswap team with Encore, Havoc Rover and Jianxin by Pridwin Institute. I will link the video in description. And that was all for this video. Let me know in the comments which guide you want next. You can check out my other guides linked in the description. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.